Well, here we are, guys. Here we are.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, yeah. What a way to kick off 2022. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's just start off like from this. Really, I mean, introducing Brad and Jenn, your famous adult entertainers. You know. So, how you guys doing so far?
Yeah, we're really good. I mean, to be fair, we started the year quite ill. To be fair,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah, because you were telling me on the bringing me here that you had a little bit of the food poisoning.
Yeah, so don't normally eat McDonald's, but went and had the only burger that was different to everyone else, and ended up in bed for a couple of days, and it was terrible. It was.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying to you in the car, I was just like, yeah, it looks like don't ever do that shit again.
Yeah, and I won't.
Yeah,
and I won't. I certainly won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, starting off, like I met you guys at a festival last year.
That's it.
And me and Gemma were there, and we were just big up to Gemma, and we were going around interviewing artists, and then you guys were talking to us, and we was like, yeah, we got a little break. Yeah, let's sit down. Let's kick it. And you guys are really chill, like really cool. You even put us on your was it IG Live at the time?
Yeah, that's it. I think
Was it TikTok or IG?
TikTok.
Or was it TikTok at the time?
That's it.
And literally, like, it was like you gave me the phone and said, "Oh yeah, promote wherever you want to promote." I was just like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Okay, yeah. Check the channel out and stuff like that." So I figured, all right, cool. And when you were telling me that you were adult entertainers, I was like, "Come again?" I was like, "Come again?" So I mean, I was shocked at first, but then immediately I was just like, knowing that your energies are so cool, I didn't fathom the idea that the title adult entertainer and you guys are just so cool. I mean, firstly, like, how do you have that energy just to maintain yourselves, knowing that you're in an industry that's so demanding and has a lot of stigma attached to it? So like, how do you maintain your energies first off?
I think there's probably something that we say to pretty much everyone on our lives. I mean, how many times? I mean, I could probably recite.
I think everyone who comes in our lives even knows it now.
They do. Yeah. I think the reason we've ended up where we've ended up in that space of time as well, which has only been sort of a year and a bit. It's not been that long in the industry. So.
Oh, so you're newbies in this, really?
To the adult industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we've kind of had our toes dipped. We've had our toes deep. Dipped.
Yeah.
Toes deep. Yeah.
He's thinking deepness right now.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
In all
it's like, let's just get on with it.
Yeah, let's just sex.
Yeah, always on your mind, you dirty man.
No, we've kind of like ventured into all different parts of every industry.
Right.
And you'll get a lot of people that will say, well, this is the music industry, this is the adult industry, this is the sports, and and as soon as you say it's that and it's that only, it becomes that separate thing. Right. So that's the first thing that's really important to remember, is that everyone separates everything without thinking that it can just be the same. So for us to do the industry we're in now, I'll say the exact same thing we both will. Yeah. And it goes like this, Jay. So some people don't want to fly airplanes because they're scared of heights. Some people don't want to be a cleaner because they don't like the smell of shit, or for whatever reason it might be.
Some people don't want to work with old people. Like, there's always a reason why, when you hear someone say, "Oh, I'd never do that."
Right.
No, I don't want to do that job.
I ain't wiping an old person's ass.
Too tasking. I'm not doing it. Yeah.
There's always something that you just don't want to do.
But ultimately, they're just jobs.
Yeah.
They are just jobs. It doesn't matter what industry at this point, it's just a job. And 99.9% of the entire world, beyond religion or anything you want to say to me, watch it in some form or another.
Yeah.
That's the truth, right? Okay.
I'm going to get into that later, yeah.
So they all watch it in some form or another, and while you're having your special tug, or whatever it is you do...
your little moment.
Yeah.
While you're holding that screen or looking at the screen, you're not looking at it thinking, how do you do it? How do you manage it? It's just,
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
There's so much for you to deal with. It's like, no.
I'm not thinking about that.
I mean, at this
moment.
point for me, my mind is fuzzy. I don't give a fuck at that moment in time.
Exactly.
Like, it's just everything else around me is non-existent for those like 30 seconds to 5 minutes.
That's it. And all you're looking to do is offload into your crispy sock,
or your t-shirt,
blanket.
People don't. The only thing on your mind.
Right.
Let's be real. People don't talk about it enough, but let's just be real. If we spoke about it a bit more, it'd be hilarious. But when you're at school, you don't turn around with your mates and go, "Oh, don't show me that. Oh, I don't watch that." No, you don't. You sit there and go, "Oh, quick, show me, show me." And when you get older, it becomes, "Oh yeah, last night, mate. Yeah, I was with Papa all night." And
I was chatting with my friend yesterday because we were catching up and stuff, and he was telling me some funny story. Like when he was in school, there was a whole bunch of computers like in a classroom. The teacher wasn't there at the time, and someone was watching Two Girls One Cup. I don't know yeah. I've never watched it. No, I don't want to either because the reaction just and so literally like there was a hacker in that room that managed to get every single screen to be showing Two Girls One Cup. And the teacher wasn't in that room, and I'm thinking like if the teacher was in that room everyone will be suspended, and I don't think they'll be coming back again. I think the school will be shut down.
Unbelievable, yeah. I can say, I did see it, and honestly, I did. You know what I'm like I've got a bad. I don't like anything like that.
Don't like anything like that.
No, so the thought of shit being eaten, shit being eaten. I'm mad, like.
It was the Mr. Whippy for me.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
I really don't want to like divulge it too much, but I'm hearing it's just basically like two girls doing a thing, and then literally vomit.
Shit,
oh no!
It's
no. I'm not about that.
You need to watch it if you can go your life without it.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't get my head around how some people actually say they like that kind of stuff. I mean,
that's crazy.
I can't get my head around it, but each to their own.
Yeah, definitely each to their own. It's definitely not for me. So I mean, meeting you guys at the festival, and obviously before we get into your world, your full world in Spectrum. Obviously, you were enjoying the music, you were there having a good time, VIP, and I know that your manager is Sir Frost, Frosted Ink, the company that you work with. Yeah. So, I mean, talk to me about like that connection. I mean, for that day, for example, like was that set up from him just to go down and enjoy yourselves and like that?
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, big up Frost as well because there is a story. I can keep it short, but it's as simple as this. It's like everything we do. It's organic.
Yeah.
And things only happen because they're meant to happen.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
It always does.
About 9 years ago, I was in Posty's house. So
Big up Posty.
Yeah, and
big up Posty.
I was in the bathroom
doing some painting and decorating
for him.
Yeah.
So I turned up and I was getting it done, and of course, what he didn't realise is that when I was younger, I'd already done West End, I'd done theatres, boy bands, I've been in a man band, I'd done it all. So to see a plaque.
Wait. Let's turn back a bit. So the boy band situation. So was that a small phase? Like, how did that come?
I mean.
You've always performed though.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was 10, I did Oliver at the West End, at London Palladium, and that was mega for me. I then went on, like every kid, to believe once I've done this, there's no stopping me.
Right.
And that was my attitude, but it wasn't to be because at the time, my parents took me to Tenerife, and I had to live there for 5 years, which was.
Oh wow.
And I was stop to that.
He didn't kind of put a stop to it. It proper put a stop to my cojones, Proper did. It proper just.
Proper cock block at that point.
Fast forward, I came back to England, and then I'm looking at Saturday. What was it? No, Live and Kicking. I remember.
Oh wow, you're taking me back.
Yeah, on a Saturday morning.
I was watching that. Like the early mornings. Was it Saturday mornings?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was watching that. Yeah, I was into that.
And all of a sudden there was down. It's like what I go to school for, and I thought. That's James. I went to stage school with that guy before I had got taken away from here to go to Tenerife. They went on to have Busted, which then were a multi-platinum selling band. Yeah, and we went to the same stage school. So for me, like personally, before Jen had come along, that kind of killed me. But it fueled a fire as well. So from then on, and I don't mind admitting it, whatever the trend was at that time,
you was on it.
I was on it. If it was an electro period, that's fine. I'll do an electro dance band.
Right.
Get a friend, make some tracks, we'll try and pitch them, and I just had that tenacity, like I did when I met you, to just talk,
right?
To just talk, and that's it, and you'll soon find that people, you don't need to really have anything to go or be somewhere. You just need to be able to be true, be real, and have a little bit of decorum about you. You can't. And
that's how you were with Posty.
That's how I was. Yeah. Right. Well, Posty was weird because I'd finished doing what I'd done. And the person that I was working with had basically gone off and he'd left the job. And the truth is, just before I went to leave the job, someone had already been paid. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about people, but someone had already been paid. Wow. Someone had already been paid for the job, yeah?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Sending me.
But he didn't know that, obviously.
I didn't know
so
that.
right in the middle of all the shit, yeah.
So right in the middle of this, I wasn't to know. Posty had already paid for the job. Yeah. So me, I've gone back to basically do a job to wait and to complete it for no reason.
At the end of the job, you're like, can I get paid? And he was like,
so Posty being Posty, what do you mean? been paid? And I said, I haven't.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And then that was it. And then Posty said, so I knew immediately, like a lot of people, he would have assumed, great, he's not coming back.
Right.
You know?
It still wasn't quite finished, was it?
Yeah,
Right.
I hadn't, no.
So obviously the politics there, the guy getting the paid, you didn't get it.
Well, no, at
You
the
think-
end of the day, I'm not leaving. I wasn't going to leave it.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
state
because
that
obviously
it was in.
you busted your ass, innit?
I did, yeah. So, but I
Yeah.
wasn't going to leave it in the state it was in either. So I just thought, no, I'm gonna get it done, and I'll deal with it myself.
Mm.
So I went back and finished it all for free, and he clearly saw that, and he's walked in, and I swear to you, he walked in, and he said, "Right, pick a hand." And I thought, what is this? Like, but
Oh,
seriously.
you know the Matrix thing was like red pill,
Well, yeah.
red pill, blue pill. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that as well. But in the way this is all works,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
mad.
yeah.
So he just said pick a hand. So I picked a hand. I think there was like over 140 odd quid in one and something in another. But either way, he gave me cash and said, I'm just not having that. There's that and thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from then on, he gave me lots of other little bits and pieces to do. So it was nice because I didn't have hardly anything at the time. I
Right.
was just trying to earn money to get by, you know.
Right.
Next thing you know, he's walked in and said, "Do you want to go to the Mobos?" And
Wow.
again, because I'd seen the
So
industry.
when was this, by the way?
This was about
Gosh, this
about
must be
9,
about 7 years.
7
ago.
years ago.
So if we're talking 2022, so that would have been what, 2014,
It was-
2015?
Yeah, no,
It
2014,
was-
I think.
Where was it? It was in Leeds, wasn't it?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Leeds.
I was there for the Mobos that time. Yeah, in Leeds.
And I had a.
I would be surprised because I was on the red carpet. I would have been surprised if you guys walked past and I would not know who you
Yeah,
guys are.
yeah, yeah.
And it's only like 7 years later now we meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it's funny Lord works in mysterious ways, like
It
you
does,
said.
yeah. I mean, the truth is, I drove there I had my Jaguar X-Type. It had
What happened was
She takes the mic, there you
he
go.
rang me while I was at uni and he was like, I need you to leave. And I was like, okay, oh yeah, apologies to anyone that was at uni that I lied to about this. So he was like, you need to leave. I was like, okay. I was like, well, where are we going?
Yeah.
He was like, just somewhere. I was like, okay, well, what do I need to wear? He was like, just something nice. I was like, you're not really giving me much to work with here, you know. So anyway, I've come home, got dressed. The next thing I know, we're in the car on the way to Leeds.
Right.
And I was like, where are we going? We was in the car, and then I think we got about halfway there, and you told me where we were going.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I was hearing in an interview that you got there, everyone's all glammed up, and you're thinking, why am I in a fucking t-shirt and jeans and
Literally,
shit like
like,
that? And
he was-
you just kind of like...
he
I mean, at least you came in a blazer.
I know.
You had more prep than you did, so he's to blame for that. I'm sorry.
He went. We got there, and he went. We can go on the red carpet. I went.
Right.
You could have told me like that. I said I would have put on a dress. I was like,
You know
going
what?
on a
It could have
t-shirt
been
and
like you go on the
jeans.
red carpet and it's just like everyone. You would have had the most attention because everyone would be wearing dresses and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like everyone would be talking about it. So why are you not dressed up? Talking point.
I think you just get too excited, and he was just like, "Get in the car."
Let's go.
Yeah, and it is the way I am. I think I just kind of felt, with all the tenacity behind me, I just thought,
Yeah.
what difference does it matter what you're wearing, really? Does it
Yeah.
matter? Like, we're here?
I didn't care.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, no, but we still didn't go on the red carpet.
No,
so-
I
Right,
didn't go on the
okay,
red carpet.
okay.
I was like, no.
But you were happy to be there.
100%.
Yeah,
right,
I
okay.
was happy to be there.
Yeah, and of course it was proven there because, come on, most people would have just dragged themselves on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like everyone will kill for that opportunity.
We
Yeah.
just walked round the
We kind of went
side,
round
walked round the
the
side.
side, walked in the back, and then we did our thing. And I even remember there was a monumental moment that evening,
It
wasn't
was
there?
Rick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was what we were getting
What it was.
to.
So when I got there, Rick came over to me. And he could have just easier gone, yeah, there you go, see you later. But he didn't. You know, he handed us the passes, which, by the way, again, not enough people talk about it properly. But when he handed me the passes, AAA, you think blah blah blah. But what I used to do when I had one years ago was thinking that I was the dog's bollocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time this is completely different at this point.
Right.
This is completely different when Rick did what he did, because we were together and we're older and we're there for a different reason. And it was nothing to do with the adult industry.
Right.
Nothing to do with the music industry.
Right.
And yet they had no idea what was about to happen 9 years later.
Yeah.
7 years later, sorry, or what I'd already done prior to that.
That's crazy.
You know, so there was no connection like that, but
Yeah.
that happened. And yeah, so fast forward,
You've always stayed in touch.
I've always watched.
So
what
you
he
always
was
kept with your connects and people that you've been in touch with over the years
Yeah,
and stuff
always,
like that.
yeah.
You know, people persons like you guys are. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I see him when he's done his
You
first
just,
big.
checked in on him.
Yeah,
and-
see his big
yeah.
drone videos that he did, and
Yeah.
then when he did like We Ain't the Same, and I just thought. And we always used to do things, and even when I used to send him videos, and I'd have the kids, even the kids would be like, "What do you know about settings?" And
Yeah, yeah.
there was like a
Mad.
back and forth, you know, organic relationship,
Yeah.
Yeah,
friendship,
yeah.
should we say? and then we started doing what we were doing, and I never lost the flair of what I did when I was a kid.
Right.
But now is the time for it to happen.
Yeah.
Because all of the work, should we call it, the 9 to 5, the office work, the night shifts I did, you know, the sacrifices I made to get to where we have now managed to get to. It wasn't all for nothing, but that wasn't my time. I just had to keep doing what I was doing. Yeah. But the music industry was never really going to be like the final kind of thing. Right. It probably should have been in my mind.
It just basically fell on your lap in a way, but then you took advantage as to say like, right, I'm gonna build my networks even further. Yeah. And obviously, you know, the timing of you guys being adult entertainers was much different to when the music started. Because I would have imagined that, you know, you would have guys started doing adult, then bringing into music. So it's crazy how things are merging. It's like a twister going around, like and stuff like that. But I mean, big up to Frost though, like you know, what I mean, 100%. to bringing you up and stuff.
I mean, that was like that. Even that was organic. We just had a conversation and said, look, we're now sort of doing this now. Yeah. And we kind of need your assistance with a few bits and pieces. Yeah. You know, and then it turns into the creativity side of things, and then there's just lots of stuff. And even now, it's an organic thing.
Yeah. It's just an organic process.
It's an organic thing that we're doing at the moment with Rick, and we're just taking it.
Seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, the world's your oyster at this point. I mean, and obviously, Jen, I want to touch on with you because, you know, I've been hearing that you went into glamour modeling and then webcamming. So talk to me about those sort of beginnings. And I mean, how did you guys even meet in the first place? How did this whole thing merge?
So we met on Plenty of Fish.
Oh my god!
I know.
That's the worst dating app. I'm sorry, like.
But back in the day, it was alright.
It worked for me once, but I had like a weird date. It was just so weird. I was get me the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not about this.
I met some strange people on there, but but yeah, I met him on there. But it actually turned out that we lived 4 roads away from each other and never even like crossed paths. For about 10 years. Yeah, we literally lived 4 roads away from each other. But yeah, so we met, and obviously at the time, like I'd done, like I don't know how I even really got into glamour modelling. It just kind of happened. I think I was just like.
Did you get into it after? Was it during the course of university that you?
No. So glamour modelling was when I was like, I mean, I'm 33 now. This is when I was like 21, 22. Right. Yeah. And I just kind of got into it, and then from there. I just hated travelling around because I had 2 kids. I was on my own. I hated having to.
Was this before you met Brad?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So I didn't like travelling around all the time and stuff and meeting different photographers, and some of them were weird, you know. So then webcamming come along, and it was a little bit more adult. Like glamour modelling, I'd always just done like top half, that was it, you know. Then webcamming came along, and the appeal of it for me was I could do it from home, like just in my bedroom. I was safe, like, you know, the kids are asleep, I don't have to go anywhere. Like that was the appeal for me, you know. And I could make okay money and, you know, be at home and stuff. So I kind of did that, and then I stopped for a while, met you, and then I was going to uni. I went to drama school, and then so I kind of stopped it all then. And then after I left, we just kind of had a conversation, didn't we?
Yeah, we were just sitting in the car and just I don't know what happened. I said something about, have you ever done kind of, you know, camming or?
No, he basically turned around to me and went, so have you ever done like, you know, porn?
Straight to the point, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, some of the conversation there, but like, have you done porn? Yes or no?
And I just remember sitting in the car, and I was like, and he went, you have, haven't you? And I was like,
you know when the hesitation comes in, yeah, you have, yeah.
But it was his response, and he just went, oh, that's cool, because, you know, I did a little bit. And I was like, okay, so we're on the same page.
Right, so you did the glamour modelling and webcamming. So then, you know, coming to you, Brad, like with the porn stuff. So was this just like a brief stint that you were doing before you guys met each other?
So this all reflects on all the different industries that we were talking about, because and why it all kind of matters and is relevant. Because when I was younger and I was doing all the music stuff, I'd be touring with bands, I'd be going out in front of thousands of people, having my pass, thinking I was a dog's bollocks. But the truth is, I was just it was a shagathon.
Right.
That's where it all came from.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay,
Trust
cool.
me, yeah.
You know the whole lifestyle of like, oh, I'm in a band now, I'm going to fuck many chicks. We got this. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. Like, I mean,
you were young.
I was young. I was on tour buses with bands. Like, obviously, I'm just saying, there was some crazy
some
shit.
weird shit. Yeah.
Some crazy shit I saw, and I used to just think, wow, you know, I'm not that guy. I'm not that person with a camera. But I was there, and I always know what it's really like, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it led on from that, because after the music, even when I was getting a normal job, my weekends, music in a studio, trying to do this. Where's the next gig? Where's the next this? Who am I shagging next? And I did. Seriously.
Yeah, forget the money. Who am I shagging next?
But it's true. It's true. I'm easily 5-6 out of 10 on average. I look like the guy from Home Alone, Chris Elliott, Jensen Button. If you want to
don't sell yourself short, man.
No,
I mean, look. I looked at you guys. I thought like you look like a beautiful couple.
No,
like you stylish couple. You know what I mean?
As a couple, yeah. But certain colours don't go well together, and they always come out not how you want it. You know.
Yeah.
So blue and green don't always make what you want. So.
True.
But if you step away from it, I know I am. I'm just saying it real for all the lads. I get it. Like, I'm not like a Brad Pitt. I'm not like someone you can go. Whoa. I'm just that slim guy. I got a lot of confidence. But because I had confidence, I just used that to shag. I didn't really care. I just cared about myself a lot when I was younger, growing up. And then when you realise and that ball hits you and you go, I can't keep doing this, I had to take life seriously.
Right.
And that's basically how I ended up meeting Jen, because my profile basically said all of that. My profile was just honest. I didn't do the whole, looking for someone who likes dogs.
Oh, I hate that.
Love Mexican food. Salsa dancing at the weekends. I'm not about that. Yeah.
Do you know what it is? I've been on dating apps for a long time, actually. Like, I got onto Hinge because my friend got me onto it, and it was one of those things where like I get a lot of like traction now. I was quite surprised. I think like me getting a lot of traction, like these girls talk to me. But the thing is, what I learned, you know, the whole thing, I don't know if you've seen it on Hinge, where it's like there's prompts that people put in.
So what's Hinge?
All right, so Hinge is basically
yeah, hold on, what's Hinge?
All right, okay, so you guys are
we literally don't have a clue what Hinge
okay, so Hinge is basically like, you'll see like a couple of photos, it's like in a straight line, and then underneath it there'll be prompts. So they'll be like titles or things. So it's like, you'll know to delete Hinge when, and then they'll put something else, or the worst thing I did is, they'll put something else in, and you know, there's a whole bunch of prompts, and then they just reply to it, they put in what they feel reveals to them. Yeah. So then what I do is, instead of just like liking photos, anyone could do that. So I thought, like, let me test them. So it's like, I'll test them on their prompts. So if someone says like, I don't know, let's say for example, if you're a foodie, we'll get along. I'll challenge them. I say like, what's your favorite food then? And if they would say like, you know, I like Chinese food and stuff. Oh yeah, I love Chinese food. Like, what's it? And we'll go they bring the conversations into it. So, cut long story short, like, dating apps have never really been successful. I've had a few dates from it, but you know, I mean, I'm surprised with Plenty of Fish, because this is the worst dating app like I've tried, like the weirdos. But some of these girls are just like, you know, just like basic, and just like they don't really give you you know, like how you're honest. You put the whole honesty thing. It's like, don't bullshit with me. Yeah. Like, a lot of the girls are just like, so very basic and on just base level, and it's just like nothing to work with. That's why I was just like, I can't be asked. Yeah,
I just don't think people, like, again, people just don't talk enough about things. It's as simple as that. You don't. Most of the time, we're stuck behind our phones, laptops, or wherever it is, your desk.
And sorry, just quickly butt in. I think so many people nowadays, like, I would hate to be single right now. Like, there's so many games and politics, and should I text you first, and maybe I shouldn't text him back. If you like them, text them.
Yeah, innit?
Like, ring them.
Yeah, man.
How many kisses did he send you?
That's it. Around, man.
Like, that's honestly how it works. Like, it baffles me.
Yeah, that's why I was just, when I did my profile, it said exactly what it said. It said like, I've cheated, I've broken hearts, I've not really given a shit, I was selfish, this. And you know what? I did do all of that. But at this point, if you still want to take me on a date after this, then you're obviously serious, because I do have a lot to give. I just fucked up, and that's it. But
and then the opening line was in the DMs. He was like, "So I see you like music." I was like, "Yeah."
Oh,
and he was like,
"No."
Do you know I was on X Factor once? No, but do you know what?
Yeah.
That's how it came across as well. I was just like, but no. In all fairness, I loved it, because I loved musical theatre and all this stuff. So for me, it was like, oh my God, someone who's just as excited about this as me. But it was funny.
It was kind of like, no, I'll admit it. I was trying to, because I knew she loved music and loved performing. I thought, there is no way that you can't relate to me once I've shown you this, because it's not just about that event that I did. It's am I growing up?
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, I've got all those attributes you like, but you're gonna have to learn to trust me when I say to you, I'm not that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, with the brutal honesty, then, so obviously meeting each other now, and then you were talking about, oh, have you done porn before? Like, and then all that talk. So then, what got you to the point of like, oh, fuck it, let's do it? Like, how did you get to that point?
So basically, after we had our daughter, I was really down.
When I met Jen, the son and daughter that we've got, they were 5 and 7 when I first met them, by the way.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, after we had our daughter, I was like, I'd been so busy, like all the time. I had like 3 jobs, and I was at uni. I was like always out and doing stuff, you know, had my own money and stuff, and I just started to feel really like, what is my purpose? Like, you know, but I wanted to be at home. I wanted to be at home with the baby and stuff. So anyway, a friend of ours came round and she was chatting away, and she was like, well, look, I might be able to get you like some ring girl work or something. And I was like, oh, okay. And then that's how we got onto the conversation of stuff that I'd done in the past. And she was like, well, why don't you just like do it again? And I like, why don't you do it again? I was like, actually, you're right. So I literally just spoke to him and I was like, do you fancy giving Cameron a go? And he was like, yeah. But
you were just like, yeah, I'm on it.
We'd done it a little bit, hadn't we? Like, we was like, let's do it.
But it's not that. This is the thing, right? Camin, that I thought of Camin, that you probably looked at and seen yourself, you know, is what I had in my mind was you sit there, people come in, they pay for private shows, you give them it, and they pay you loads of money. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
what I thought.
Yeah.
But I've got to sit there for a long time.
Well, we ended up going on what was it, Chatterbait?
Yeah.
And the principle, it seemed great.
Yeah.
So we got on there, and mate, I'm not gonna lie. When you're sitting there and you look at half of what's around you, and you think, surely, like, we are fucking good looking, and we do know how to shag, and we can fuck good, and surely, like, people are gonna want this. So we're there, we're sitting on the bed.
It's not as easy as just sitting there.
Yeah.
Honestly, thousands and thousands of people in your room. 15, 16,000 we had in a room.
Wow.
But they all just want you to fuck for nothing.
Yeah.
Which I got. But if it was kind of messing with our brains a little bit, I'm just saying, for the average person on there, you cannot tell me that money's just pouring in underneath you.
Yeah.
I think with Camin as well, it's, it's consistency with Camin.
Right.
Like, if you're going to get into Camin, then
you have to keep building your profile.
It's exactly the same as any other social media. If you want to think about it, people know when to expect you. They know when to come on. Like if you're going to be live, it's all about that kind of stuff. And I think if you're looking into it for just real quick money, like it's not easily done.
People think but once they've got their username and password, that's it.
But very quickly after we started the Camin, literally, I think about a week later, I heard about OnlyFans. Right, and I was like...
I was going to talk about because it must have been like from Chatterbait to OnlyFans, it must have just been like more of an easy transition, and obviously it's a easier format to work with, I guess.
Oh, definitely. And it was just... I mean, I think I turned around, didn't I? And I was like, if I could just make a few £100 extra a month, could you imagine? That'd help us so much. And then it started going well, and we were like, we weren't both doing it. It was just me at that point.
I was working full time.
Okay. So when did you when did you get the point of stopping and then okay, we're doing this together?
Yeah, so I think it was purely based on what Jen was just saying, the money side of it. She just wanted to earn a couple of £100 a month. Right. That's all. To go just towards a few bits. Keep her sanity, get her doing something, and what a good thing to do. I ain't fucking complaining. So
well, you wouldn't be, would you?
No, so yeah, and again, we need to touch on that. There's so many people, I get it, that people be sitting there going, you fucking, that might listen to it and go, you do this, and it'll be a problem. Like, I get it. I'm all for everyone's. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
And for those that say, how do you do it? Well, look, listen,
it's just not for you.
We're each other's one in a millions, and we've known each other in ways you probably couldn't even begin to imagine. And even just briefly telling you now, just as we're starting, about how we've met all these people and how we're here, it's true. So I'm just not that guy. I'm not that person to ever go, you ain't doing this, you're not doing that. How could you?
So it's not like a possessive thing, like, how couples would be like, well, you're not doing this, and you know what I mean? You got to talk to me first, and that sort of thing.
In our relationship, honestly, hand on my heart, that's never been an issue. So it was
Right.
never an issue for this because it had never even been brought up for anything else in the past. So it just wasn't like that. The trust has always been there. There's never been anything like that. So it was just, you know, it was literally a conversation,
So
wasn't it?
you both are very, very extremely liberal in that sense of the word then, because it's like people will say we're liberal, but you take it as like, I mean, obviously there's boundaries, of course.
I'll tell you what
But,
I think it is.
yeah.
I think what it is, we are very liberal minded. Very liberal minded and sort of how we talk and speak. Yeah, we will never take face value for nothing. I can give a fuck what it is. Like, we only go by what I can tell you is a fact. And what I can tell you and you can tell me is what you look for yourself. That's it. It's not what I tell you. It's not what you tell me. It never is.
Right.
But because you're a doctor or because you're a teacher, because you're a fireman, because you're this, it means you can tell me that particular bit of information, but I can go and get that anywhere. You know? That's it. It's just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So
you take what you want from that knowledge.
Yeah, that's it. You do.
Yeah.
So for us, I mean, going into doing the OnlyFans and earning the money, when you got to a certain point where it was, whoa, hold on a minute, you're earning how much? You know, like on your own.
Then I got
And then I mean, this is where it gets interesting because everything we say, like I said, is real. It's just real.
Yeah.
We can only say what our opinion or how we have got to where we've got to. But it's funny how so many people say, I can't believe how refreshing this is, or it's just mad. And you think, but it's the honest truth. We're just a normal couple doing a normal job in a normal industry, but it's been tabooed for so long since I can remember. Yeah. And yet, when you can remember as far back as you can, you knew you were looking and doing those things.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just one of those, like, I mean, you know, from experience, it's like, okay, cool. Mum, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I've been hiding it for almost all my life.
We are not bad influences.
But I have been watching it, and it's just like, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like you got hide and sneak away and things like that, and like no one's watching and blah blah blah. But I think for me, it's just like from an outside perspective, like I get your point of, you know, it's just as much a normal job like as anything else. However, because of the fact that it's been stigmaed for so long, like, and everyone has this opinion of, oh, this is bad, but you flip it as to say like, well, why the fuck are we gonna now think of it as something bad when knowing that you've done it yourself once upon a time? I don't know, it's just a weird thing for me.
Yeah, and I think as well, you know, there is obviously with any industry there's dark sides to it, you know, and I think that's the problem. Like Pornhub alone were held accountable for that. Was it last year? They lost 80%. You know, they lost 80% of their content. They had to get rid of it all, quite rightly. It was all dodgy shit, you know, which shouldn't have been on there. And now it's changed, and you know, but what we do is very different. You know, we're a married couple just doing what we would be doing, even if, you know, there wasn't a camera there, but there just happens to be a camera there, you know, but that's our situation, and it's different. Like, we try and bring the same production as some of these other things, but, you know, we are just a married couple. So you're never going to, like, you know, as people like to say, we're quite vanilla, you know, but what's wrong with vanilla?
I don't mind vanilla. I like vanilla, yeah.
And I think that with our videos, for instance, people look at them and go, how do you get that lighting, or how do you do that? Yeah. Like, mate, we know fuck all about photography. Honestly, we handy around a good few apps that have been coded really well and made it really easy.
Has that helped with being around Frost as well? Because obviously he's a director.
Do you know what? No, what it is, we like creatively. There's so many amazing ideas that even now currently we're throwing about, but when
up till now it's just been us.
It's
only just recently.
So
is it just like self-teaching and stuff?
Yeah, we're trying to. Yeah, it's kind of aspire. So when we look at other things, and we're not copying, it's aspiring. So we look at other people with great quality and go, how can we do that?
And also, I think it's about, like, I used to watch a lot of porn, like back in the day, not so much now, but do watch it. But I was going
to ask you guys that as like, when was your first experience of it? Yeah,
but you'll tell her, I am so picky with porn. Like, I'm so picky.
Well.
Like, I don't even know what it is that I want, but when I find it, I find it.
Like, I'm sticking to that. Yeah,
and I ended up going back to the same sort of videos. But I knew that from that, I wanted to, when we make ours, I wanted to make sure that I had included things that I knew I would like, or things that I felt that I didn't see very much, or do you know what I mean? Different angles and things like that, just so that then, you know, at least if people are picky like me, there's a few more options.
And does that apply to like, you know, when you do your shoots? You know, we'll talk about TikTok later on. When you do your adult shoots, do you reflect that in terms of what you've watched and how you apply that as far as creatively what you're going to make as far as your content?
Yeah, I think you're spot on, mate. I think actually that's exactly what we do. So you look at really is what's basically what's going off, what's got the most views. You can't always do that because the most views come from the most ridiculous of things. So you have to go with the generic big videos.
Also comes down to what we want to do.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, we know that anything to do with role play, i.e. the neighbour knocks next door. We know that stuff goes up fire. So, and people do love a little bit of a joint every now and then when you're making content, smoking videos. They do, you know. We make some fucking good ones. So, and then when we're filming it, this is I swear it can only be said as it is. I've tried to have like cameras in a room with me and us trying to film it. I'm not talking about our cameras, and it's quite simple. If I want all the different positions, it's as simple as this. You take it off, you've got your camera, you go, right, let's just do the same thing we just did, but I'm now going to get it from this angle. And then
that must be hard work, considering like if on a normal casual like you know night in you're gonna you know fuck each other, that's just you know your playing fields. But when you start bringing angles into it, right? I've just done this angle. That's like now I've got to get myself prepared for the next shot, and it's just like does it get tiring at times? Like no.
Do you know what? No. Yeah, here's a question. Let me ask you one.
Right.
How often? This is a great question. How often do you think we off?
Wow, I've never been. Ooh, okay. Let's see what you're doing.
Let's say it exactly as it is.
I see. The thing is, it's my thought of casually against creatively. So creatively, probably a little bit more than what you would do casually, because obviously, like it's a thing like, you know, building your brand and then money out of it. So maybe if we're talking a week, maybe between 5 to 10 times a week.
That's probably the most logical fucking answer anyone's ever given us. Because, you know, I mean, that is the answer, really. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
You said it exactly right, which is the casual side compared to the.
What?
No, we're saying, you know, like there's a difference between casual.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I would say we definitely have more casual than creative.
Yeah, but this is what I was going to get at.
Yeah.
casual and the creative side.
And they kind of blend sometimes.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so it's just like, we're get the cameras on, love.
We we'll set something up and we're genuinely like
turned on.
Let's go. Yeah.
It excites us.
Yeah.
To think, let's get this angle. So it's never like hard work.
Bearing in mind, it's just us still at that point. So
true.
There are no other.
There's no external.
No,
and that's no pressure on you guys, right?
Yeah, and that's still my current thing. Whether it'll even happen is I just don't see the content that we produce not being just us, because it's very difficult for me as a man. I'm just saying as it is. There's hundreds of videos of me fucking doing my thing. I obviously don't fuck about, and I have got a piece. Like I do my thing.
Yeah.
Should have been born black, for Christ's sake. What I'm saying is,
there we go.
but you know, so the evidence is there, but it is what it is. The reason it looks so good and so real, and the reason it looks so fucking hot is because honestly, that's it.
Right.
It is in that moment. Moment,
it's us in that moment. So you know, we can even if we're moving the camera around or something like that, it's still just us.
It's ready to go.
You know, because there's no one. You know, I think as soon as you bring something else or someone else in the room with us,
pressure starts building.
Yeah, you know, and the magic could go a little bit.
So basically, in short, it's like the comfort level, you guys being around each other, it's your house, your rules, no one you got to contend with but yourselves, basically.
Yeah, you know, and
it works out.
And that's kind of why it works, you know, but who knows? We are those people, never say never. But who knows where it will go? But, you know, it's like right now, it's like it works. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Don't go with the format. So, I was going to talk about actually because you know, obviously you were mentioning that you guys collectively have kids.
Yeah.
So we were talking in the car on the way here, and I wanted to touch on this because what's interesting is that you guys are in this field, and you have kids that are with you. So, firstly, how do you separate the idea of kids being away from what you guys are doing, but then at the same time, if being a family unit, you guys are pretty much doing that anyway. Like, I'm thinking like, how do conversations even come to light? I mean, like, you know, you said that your oldest was like 11 or something like that.
16.
16. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So how do those conversations come? Knowing you have kids in the foreplay, how does that work? Because obviously for me, if it was like, I would probably be embarrassed, like knowing I have to go into my room and make sure that they're not hearing. But in your case, it's like, how do you work that?
So I suppose, well,
Most of the time, you know, they're not here when we're filming because, you know, they go school, nursery, stuff like that. So creatively wise, you know, most of the time we get everything done then. Yeah. But
casually,
I mean, who doesn't shag with their kids in the house? So are you telling me that your kids are out of the house every time you have sex?
No, further to the
You know
point.
what I mean?
No,
I'm learning here. I don't have kids, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
right.
But so that's great. But then we can spin it
Yeah.
and ask you a different question, right? Okay.
This motherfucker here. I like how it's turned into him interviewing me. Yeah.
It's got one-
No, go on.
It's good because it leads on to all of this.
Yeah, go on.
So are you honestly sitting here now telling me that you have never, in the history of being on this planet, you never heard your parents once when you were younger going at it in the bedroom? Ever? Not once?
Well, I will say that my dad's never been around, so that's number one.
Ah, right. Okay.
That's number one. But
Okay.
number two, there have been a few murmurs
Okay.
from other sides of the room.
Yeah.
So that's probably like one or two. But it will probably be just like, I mean, sorry, Mum, if you're hearing this. But it's like, it's probably like once or twice I've heard murmurs. I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
is she all right? Or I don't know what to make of it. Yeah.
As a kid, like, you know, I think I heard my parents, but I didn't really know at the time, like when I was younger. And then as I got older, I was just like, ugh. Like, do you know what I mean, in my head? But that's just kids in general thinking about their parents.
Yeah, like, I mean, the amount of times you get asked that on lives and people say to me like, oh yeah, but your kids are there. So yeah, to answer it, when we're creatively doing our videos, it's genuinely when they're at school. So now though, I mean, yeah, he's 16, he'll be leaving soon, but then he goes off to college, sixth form, and then he makes his own way in the big wide world. So
Yeah.
But it's manageable.
But of course, there were. I mean, we can say so. Forgetting what we're doing at the moment, but we'd already jumped on Pornhub once before as well. So we'd already gone on there. It was under a different name. It was called Mr. and Mrs.
Right.
So it was a completely different account, and we did that, and we did very well on there. And purely based on the kids being at school, and then realising as parents, as you do, you check their phones, you know. And we had noticed that the kids they were looking at porn videos on their phone from different sites, and we
at that moment we had literally gone on there and we were like, right, okay, we haven't had this conversation, so we need to come off. You know? So that was the first time round.
Trust me, we wiped the whole thing.
And at that point, like, we did really well on there, but it wasn't like we weren't massive, you know.
No, I mean,
No, I mean, it was
we were doing well, but we deleted the entire account for the sake of our kids.
Right.
Before there was any opportunity for them to know that we were doing it.
Yeah.
So do they know?
They do now, yeah.
Oh, they do. And so what's their reaction to the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, the reaction came as a result of what we did. We got rid of the account because of the protection of our children. And then we realised something. To protect your children, you need to surround them with a roof, food, a way of getting them about sometimes. You know, I know there's public transport. We would have done that as well. But when you need to do something, you will do it. When it's for your children, you will do whatever it fucking takes for your kids. And I don't care who you are, you will admit that. Our backgrounds as children were not great. So I never understood what it was to be that kind of proper father when I first met the children, because I never really had it growing up.
Right.
So again,
So you were new to the whole.
Yeah, so you got to tie that in with it as well. I'm trying to, you know, be a father and learn as well, because I never had anything to base it on. So what do? Probably similar to what yourself is about not having your father around. Mine was around. I was just brainwashed into not seeing the man, you know.
Right. Okay.
Who now I've got a great relationship with.
Gotcha.
But trust me, you know, I never had it. And once you don't have it, it's gone, isn't it?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Sure.
yeah, you can build that bridge back, but it'll be a weak fucking bridge.
It'd be a long bridge to walk around. Yeah.
So we got to a point where we just didn't have much money.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You know?
it's like, you know, at the end of the day, what, you know, social media in general doesn't want people promoting anything to do with sex, OnlyFans, blah, 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 exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, it's really censored.
That's why probably some words I might have to cut for the sake of
Exactly.
YouTube, but obviously people will know.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, because of that, we're better to advertise what you're doing than on the biggest platform in the world. It wasn't, you know, when we'd been on there before, we didn't know that. Yeah, we were just on there. We was like, okay, this is what we got to do. And then, you know, when we went back on this the second time, people had said to us, like, it's a great way to get out there. And we was like, oh, okay. So at that point, we were like, right. And we sat down with the kids, didn't we?
Yeah, well, it's because, like I said, when we got rid of that account, we was running that. We were doing the OnlyFans, so we was earning money, and the advertising was great, and the traffic was unbelievable. So to take away that part of it, we didn't realise what detriment it would have to us.
Right.
When we realised it, we said, hold on a minute, like, we were really good at it, and the kids are getting to a certain age. But you know what? Let's talk to them. So we just said to them, listen, guys, you know, the house, we've been here for like 6 years as well. And we're renting, by the way. So we then just said to them, look, guys, you know, that with the house and everything we're doing.
At this point, they knew we were doing OnlyFans.
Yeah,
they knew we were doing that.
Right.
Like that's a subscription-based thing where it's all private. This is the conversation we had. We sat them down and said, it is a subscription-based thing. No one can really find it. We don't really come to your schools anyway. And you're at an age where you get life. When I say they get life, I won't go into detail now, but if we're going back to when we were younger, based on what we had, and when I met these guys, and we wasn't doing this, they still had the same fundamentals of life, the real world. You know, we told them about.
Also, I had my son when I was like 17, so he's grown up with me.
Yeah, same with my mum actually.
Yeah, he's
So
grown up with me, and
friendly vibes.
Yeah, you know, and it's amazing. I've always been. You know, I never intended it to be so open. It's just that he's watched me grow up, you know, as well. And, you know, because of that, we are very open. Same with my you know, the middle daughter, you know, I had her when I was 20. So, you know, both of them have seen me, and I've just always had that relationship. And for such a long time, it was just me and them. So I did talk to them a lot, like, you know, and stuff. So I always feel like I teach them, I want openness, I want honesty, you know, and respect. And if I can't give them those things in return by telling them before they find out from somebody else, then what kind of lesson am I teaching them?
Yeah, because then it's more embarrassing from someone else.
Yeah, like,
it's rather
that would bother them more than what I'm doing. It would bother them more.
And there's a level more of respect, because then, you know, it's all open out there. No, I would never lie to them.
I'd never lie to them.
Yeah,
okay.
And when people always say, like, you know, like, do you not think it'd be a lot for them? Well, take yourself back to when you was their age. Take yourself back to when you was their age at that moment, and just think of any time when you could have wished that your parent could have been in any way, shape or form to what they are now, or you believed. And there are so many people, including myself, that would go, I wish my dad was like that. Yeah. I wish my mum was just a bit more like this, or I wish this, or I wish that. And you can wish what you want, and we all go through the same shit. It's just how you deal with it. But unfortunately, some people do go through it bad, and we did. And you know, but we don't spend our lives saying, well, life's shit because of this, or every negative, it's that problem. Right. Get the chips off your shoulders and just get with the real world, and understand quickly that it's you that makes you feel a certain way. I don't hurt your feelings. They're your feelings, right?
True.
Do you understand what I mean? They're your feelings. You create them.
We're separate.
Yeah. So, but not enough people just want to talk about it. Right. They just want to go, you're this, you're that, or that's that, and that's that.
They class you as like, oh, you're beneath us because you're doing this.
Yeah. You go, you know, I'm a parent. Oh, that makes it even worse. You're like, oh.
You know, and it's kind of like people find it really hard to, even people we've known in our personal life, you know, it's very hard to separate us from the porn. Like, these people have known us for years. Years. They know who we are. They know who we are as people. But as soon as we've started doing this, like, not very many, but there's just separated. Yeah, and like they won't really say much or anything, but it's just like, it's like, hang on, we're still the same people. So if you're that's on you. Do you know what I mean? Having the same wanks and doing the same shit you do. But you'll still watch it and watch it from afar and be like, comment on it. But you know, it's like, but you're still watching it. Like,
it's cool. You can silently watch. We don't
enjoy the show.
So what would you say to those people then that would suggest that it's all bad? Like, you know, what you guys are doing is setting a bad example for the kids and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. Because obviously it's a thing where, like, for most people, it's something we're not educated on, and we only see from one perspective. We're happy to watch it, but as far as like if being an active part in it, you know, it skews everything. You know, especially people's point of views. Everyone has opinions on it. Like, I mean, for example, COVID at the moment, everyone's separated with views. So it's just, in a way, for what you guys are doing as an industry, it's kind of like separating opinions as well. So what would you say to those people that would say all that stuff then? I
think times are changing a lot. You know, you said about COVID. A lot of people have started doing this because of COVID, you know, and this industry's always been here, and because it's always been, you know, put in the corner like, oh, dirty industry, don't talk about that. You might go and have a, you know, cheeky tug, but you don't talk about that, you know. Whereas now there's a lot of people that, you know, they lost their jobs. Like, do you know how like, so many girls message me or couples saying, you know, I'm losing my job, or that, you know, I'm out of work and I'm thinking about starting this just to try and pay the bills. Again, it goes back to if you've got kids and you've got a roof over your head and you've just lost your job, you know, and I'm not saying everyone should do it because of that, you know, but it's the industry in general. It's just been blown up because of OnlyFans now. Like OnlyFans is like
indoors, no one can go anywhere at the time.
and it's
happened, so people have more time to do stuff.
You know, and it's always been there, but it's just a lot more spoken about now because OnlyFans has just gone boom.
Yes,
you know, so that's why, and I think that's why in general people have a lot more opinion on it, because before they probably wouldn't think about it, but now it's kind of like, okay, let's talk about it. It doesn't mean that every area of it is good. With all good there is bad, with light there is dark, of course, you know, but let's talk about it.
Yeah,
you know, it's if you come into a conversation with a narrow mind, you're not going to learn anything. You know, there's always two sides to something, so come in, ask questions, ask us, you know, why we do it, or you know, what led us to it, you know, same as what we are. There's a difference between being judgmental, you know, and being inquisitive, if you know what I'm saying. There's a difference.
Fine line. Yeah.
There's another analogy you can use for all of this, right? So you put 1,000 people in a container and you say to everyone, if you've ever watched porn, think about it, or could even be starting it, send nudes, whatever, leave. You're going to get most people leaving that room. Right. But then you're going to get a handful of people that will leave out of all of them that only did it just to follow suit.
Right.
Because they don't want to be seen as the person that's left behind or missing out.
Right.
But they don't quite get what it is they're doing it for.
Right.
They're just like, I ain't getting involved. Oh, fuck that. So now I'm left with just a few people. You talk to some of them, give them the spiel, they then definitely fuck off. Right. But now I'm left with that one person, and that is just a dickhead. And that person, you're never going to get through to them. And that's what happens kind of on a daily basis. And forever. Yeah, but forever, it's always going to happen. We're not stupid. We understand that it's never going to stop. People need to stop with the whole...
You're not going to please everybody.
Yeah, stop the trolling, stop the hate. You can't. You can't have this whole... Like, I've seen it, and we say it just as it is. We can't have places where it's just like, positivity. Just bring me positivity. It doesn't fucking work.
Why was I thinking Harry Potter when you were going in that vibe? But yeah,
maybe, Harry Potter.
Well, you got the glasses for it anyway. Yeah, go on.
You can't base everything on, I love being in here because it's just so positive. Yeah. There is no... positivity and negativity have to be there. You've got to have your downfalls and your upcomings in order for anything to make sense. And even when things go well, you are still going to have something happen to you that you're not going to disagree with, and it's going to pull you down again, and you've got to come back up again. So people need to realise that you can't just immediately look at something and go, oh, that's shit. Yeah. Because...
I think at the end of the day, it is completely fair for, even if once you've spoke to someone, for them to go, do you know what, not for me, blah blah blah. But you shouldn't be ignorant to other things. You know, I think at least I think life in general is just about gaining different perspectives from all different perspectives, and the more perspectives you have, the more knowledgeable you are, and you take that on through your life. You know, you learn from that. So you know, it's never just like I said before, there's a difference between judgment and not knowing. Right. You know,
everyone needs to understand you've got to roll the bad and the good together wherever you go. It's not, you can't just be...
I mean, this industry is not for the faint-hearted. Let's be real. Like, you know, it's not the fact that, you know, everyone's going to one day agree with it and blah, blah, blah. It's probably not going to happen. But, yeah, this industry is definitely not for the faint-hearted at all.
And for anyone out there that is listening, probably thinking, I can't just say that about positivity. I fucking can. And I'm sorry to tell you that you need to wake up and smell the coffee quick, because there is always going to be bad and good, positive, negative. You're never going to stop the trolls. It's just how you deal with it. Right. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. You don't overcoming it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't like with trolling and all that negativity stuff. You can't just get rid of it and squash it out. It's like talking about COVID, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know, you want to talk about bacteria and all that shit, and I know nothing about that. But let me tell you something. You can't just bat it away and get rid of it. It will always come back. So what do you do? It's how you control it.
Yeah, and how you deal with it. Yeah. What, you know, in the process of.
The only difference is, would you wear a mask for a troll? That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, I say the word. Yep.
Just saying.
You don't need to see me. You only see my nose and lips. That's fine. You know what I mean? For you two, you can always see each other's lip. You don't need masks for that. I've really been digging this because there's so much that I've learned. But I wanted to touch on quickly about the whole mentality of watching porn, but also how sometimes for people watching it, it can lead to things more extreme, like you were talking about earlier. You know, obviously this will probably be bleeped out, but you know, causes of and things like that. And sometimes when you like, off the back of it, it can lead to something more. In some cases anyway. So for you guys, how do you keep a sense of responsibility as adult entertainers in showcasing and then putting it on the right platforms? Like, how do you feel in a sense of responsibility on that level?
I think the most honest answer we can say to start with is we take full responsibility for what we create.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's as far as that fucking goes. Because the truth is this: the responsibility to uphold legalities when it comes to age, filters, family, homes, the parents themselves, the from down to your router, from down to settings you've got. Mm-hmm. We have no control on that. Right. Okay, you can't set yourself up with things that you can't control, right? So for us, we don't choose our audience.
Right.
We have to always remember that. It's for all it's all artists and all in this industry specifically. You can't choose your audience because we're so specific. We're just us. That's why there's a search bar at the top of every website.
And I think as well for us, we don't glorified anything like that in any way ever. So when I said earlier that we're quite vanilla, like how I describe it is, if sorry if my kids watch this, but the kids, if they watch porn, I would rather they were watching something like ours, right, that's just normal, loving, healthy sex than
that we'll call it a base level in that way, so it's not over the top.
It's just
They've got
no, obviously.
I mean, of course,
but I'm talking about extremes, like extremes, like kind of thing, Right. So, but in terms of stuff like that, I don't think, anything that we would put out would ever give that impression for
right, gotcha.
But what we do create, like I said, going back to what I just said earlier, it's true, the responsibility stops at the point to which we create. And the truth is, it's not because we're like, we don't care. No, we care, we get it. Even what we make.
Parents ourselves.
Yeah, even what we make can be an addiction to somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody
is so addicted to porn, he spends, not money, but he spends all his time on it, it's ruined relationships. We understand that, I get it.
You've got to have the same philosophy as, like, some people are alcoholics, some people, but you still have alcohol on the shelves, right? So it's the same. You've got to have the same.
It's like a surface.
It's
so
responsibility.
It's responsibility. Like whether it's like drugs, alcohol, like cigarettes or whatever. It's a case if it's there. Yeah. But it's up to you to You
have to act. You have to act responsibly,
right, in that level, or how to balance that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to it, no matter how you balance it out, and no matter how many seesaws you sit on, you're still gonna have shit, and you're still gonna have good. Remember?
Yeah.
So
negative. The balance.
It doesn't matter where you go with it. Yeah. You're always gonna have that one thing. It's just unfortunate that because it's been made quite taboo that when something negative happens in this industry, you're really fucked for it. Right. Because it's like, oh, well, firstly, you shouldn't be doing it. That's the fucking problem. Because we don't even talk about the first bits. Let's go way back. Right. And then we end up having to say what we say. Yeah. And kind of, bit by bit, people are understanding that now. Yeah. Once it becomes, I'm not saying normal, because, of course, you can't make it normal. But once you make it kind of understandable with logic behind it, people then realise and go, fuck, I can't really say...
It's not all bad.
It's not.
The industry as a whole, there's good and bad. It's not all bad.
I mean, look, Pornhub went on and done one of the things you never thought they would. Yeah. They bowed down to the fact that all of the accounts were not fully verified, meaning anyone could upload anything of anyone. And then there was the revenge porn.
I had a video of me years ago before I did anything like this, and it got out, and I had no idea until someone sent it to me.
BBC?
Wow. So, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Okay. Thoughts there?
But, and that was mad for me.
Take the mic.
Sorry, that was mad for me because I had no idea that was coming out, and I was like, okay, and it was, but because of that, and I can imagine how people have felt in them situations because I've been in it. Right. So when Pornhub did their massive 360 and turned around, and basically you cannot upload anything on there now unless you are fully verified.
Yeah, you
everything.
got the blue tick as well. Yeah.
You have to be, and I agree with that. But it meant all their content.
They lost 80% of their content. I say lost. They just gave it up.
Wow. Yeah.
It went from
the legal.
It went from like
things,
what was it, like 30 million videos to like 5
overnight. Just to literally be the
to keep their asses in check.
To turn around and say, yeah, all right then, all right, they are. It is the right thing to do because there was traffic There was lots of things that shouldn't have been on there.
Right.
So going back to that, what we originally have said, yeah, we care. We care like fuck about everybody and everything. But we also care about anyone and everything that's an alcoholic. I care, I've got friends that have been addicted to drugs. I've got friends that are addicted to alcohol. I have friends that are addicted to life in ways you couldn't even imagine. But we're still us, and we're still always there. No, go on, because we'll end up.
No, cool. So I hear that. I mean, there's so much we can go into, but I get the point. Obviously, it's just like you're being as responsible as possible, but obviously, it's a thing like with websites, it's a thing that you can't always track what goes on. You're only doing as best as possible, but then you can't control what someone else does in the process. But consciously in your head, you're thinking that, okay, as long as we know what we're doing for us and we're catering to our audience, that's it. Like that's.
I think as far as for our responsibility, we do try as much all the time to be as responsible as we can with it, and that's all we can do because it's out of our hands.
For sure. Once you've got the content out, everything else kind of follows through.
If it's not in your control, then honestly, what can you do about it?
That's it.
It's like we upload it onto the 18 plus website, and where it goes from there, like our stuff's everywhere. Like people get stuff leaked all the time. It's
of course.
Not to mention that we check our analytics all the time, and our analytics 18 to 35.
Right. So
so when you get
the right audience anyway, so it fits into the right categories. What you
so when you get people saying, this is this, or you're
because
you go,
it's legal ages that we're talking here. So
but you sort of say, okay, hold on. You try and lay it out in basic terms for them, and you say, so at what point have we done anything wrong? Because we uploaded onto an 18 plus site,
right?
So you're saying, but kids can see this. Can you please tell me any kids that have seen it, please? Tell me any, because a kid can't, a child cannot.
Yes.
Understand? And you're telling me they can. That's something that's legal between you, your family, or whoever it is that's doing it. So don't.
And I think it's also like I think it's what you comment is like parental control as well. So you add that to the mix. It's like you are responsible. Not only that you have kids in the mix, but in your mind you're thinking, okay, we're 18 to 35 in demographic, but we got to make sure that our kids are not involved in that way as well. So you know that you're fully responsible for what in terms of how you control your environment from it.
Like steering clear from the schools. We do pick them up and stuff, but we don't get involved like that.
Right.
But if they want to have their friends over for a sleepover, we all remember when you was younger and you had that mate that had all the money. Trust me, I've been there when I had nothing. But they just take everything for granted.
Right.
And they can have whatever they want kind of thing, but you just didn't do anything for it. And it was awful to see. These guys here, they'll do chores, they're very respectful, they don't want or need for anything, they just do the right thing, and then we say, right, you can have this or you can have that.
Come up on things if they're not acting correctly,
Right.
Yeah, trust me, like they have to do chores, otherwise they don't get what they need. So for these guys, because they've got that kind of respect and they get the real world, then you combine that with us having the conversation about our job. And the honest truth, they just went, and?
That's it.
My son,
our daughter, she's all three of them are amazing, but our middle daughter, she has her own stuff going on. Like she finished filming a film for Netflix last year. It's coming out this year, like a proper. She's in it,
daughter,
exactly. And it's like people think that our kids are obviously going to have this terrible life because of what we're doing, and it's
off
like
the back of what you guys are doing that's following suit. But clearly that's not the case.
No, not at all. Now my son, he's doing his GCSEs soon. His mock results. He's fantastic. It's like just our career doesn't affect their life as much as people think it does.
Right.
And everyone knows now. It's old news that honestly their kids do not care.
Don't give a shit. Yeah,
and when their friends come around, they have such a cool time because we don't care, man. We're not like
just get to see us as people.
We're just
right. Gotcha.
Yeah, we're just normal people, but but you want to go and do what you got to do. Go and do what you got to do. Have fun.
So it's literally separating the work life to just being people.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Yeah. So it's just and being I mean, there's even in the last year. I mean, you have to remember we might have already spoke or touched on it, but you have to remember, like, life's been very, very, like, forgetting everything you've just heard, you then kind of think, okay, so where are we at now? Right now, what's your 3-year plan? Like, we don't have any plans.
Right.
We only worry about now.
Yeah.
The reason why we've always kept that, and based on everything we've already told you, so last year, September, my mum passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I mean, look, like, someone else's mum's going to die in a minute.
Yeah.
Someone else's nan will die in a minute.
Right.
I am kind of like that. It's very difficult to be emotional, should we say. I've just not really ever been like it. I don't know why.
Right.
But that happened, and then you've got like Jen had her skin cancer,
right?
And for us,
like that was that for me.
Yeah, that was.
When people say, do you not care about what people think of you, or you do this job and stuff like that, I'm like, mate, last year when I got told that I had cancer, like I found out in the worst way possible anyway. It was handled really badly. And at that moment, I thought to myself, oh my God, is this it? Like, is this it? Like, because if it is, there's so much more, like, do you know what I mean? There was so much more I could do, so much more I could give. And, you know, and in honestly, in that moment, I was like, fuck it. Hang on. And like, you know, don't tell my moment. No, but I'm just saying, like,
you got the phone call, though.
No, it doesn't matter, you know, but it's like, you know, it changed my outlook on life completely.
Right.
You know, and I just think you're only here for a short space of time. You don't know when it's up.
Live your life
Live
as
your
best
life.
as possible.
Live your life.
Life is short.
If you live your life so consumed about what other people think about you,
Right.
when are you going to enjoy your life?
Wow, that's what I'll take away from that. That's one of the biggest keys.
Yeah.
You got to live your life. I mean, obviously, opinions do matter to an extent,
course.
but you got to live your life. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's like if you consume yourself with the opinions, you ain't gonna.
And
do
you're
shit.
never going to please everybody.
you
You're
can't.
never going to please everyone. So
Right.
you have got to fundamentally do what is making you happy. You know, as long as you ain't hurting no one, you ain't doing nothing illegal.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
that's it.
what? You're not hurting no one.
Well, I mean, speaking of which, like, you know, you guys, you know, making people happy and, you know, doing your own thing as well. Like, obviously, we touched on being in the music world. So, obviously, I want to touch on that now because, I mean, we met you at a festival last year. You were backstage for D Block Europe's O2 show. You met the likes of, like, Chunks and Philly and LD as well, Godfather of Drill. You know, and also you did a music video shoot with Lady Leisha as well. That was interesting. So, you know, with all those things, like, you know, talk to me about, you know, obviously you touched on like Frost being your manager and getting. So, how more involved now are you with the music industry, and like, you know, are there more stuff that you're going to involve yourself with in that way?
So we're not actually a part of the music industry.
Right.
I'd say now it's just by association because of our manager.
Right.
But because of everything that's happened since being young to where we are now,
Right.
like, you know, Rick did it to us. So Rick will put us in a room and be like, all right, you think you can handle this?
Yeah.
Go for it. Let's see you do your thing then.
Right.
So we love music. We love it all. You know,
Yeah,
it's a big part of our lives. So to kind of mesh the two was kind of cool.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, even the O2, like I've been on the O2 stage and I've done it and I've sung.
you do
and
the band stuff. Yeah.
So for me, it's not like we never go into these situations like, oh my god, fucking hell, like, oh my god,
because you're used to it now.
Yeah,
like,
but
you kind of got the experience of it.
but still not used to it in a way of like, I'm about it, I'm this. We're just
appreciating it.
Yeah, we really fully understand that we appreciate why we're here. You know, like Chunks to walk over and say hello, and me being me, just to get talking about what we do.
Because obviously Chunks was at the festival that we were at as well.
That's it, yeah.
Did you guys talk then, or was it like?
No.
Oh, okay. So then, you know, Chunks coming to you guys, like, how did that play out? Like, how did it all play out?
As soon as we knew someone obviously had come in that currently right now the world knew, because the whole entire front barrier looked like it was going to go as soon as he came in. They were just like, what? I just turned and went, it's Chunks and Philly.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're at these events or anywhere else, there's that little area where the guests and the family or whatever can stand and do their thing.
Yeah.
And the best way to explain it, it's kind of like I call them like awkward pits, because it's a pit. It's not a pit for the band. It's a pit for all the guests and the celebs. But it is always going to be awkward, because 9 out of 10 times, some of you don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right? And
There's always that.
but here's a big one.
People, yeah.
Yeah, but this is
Always
why here's a big one, because people will always say, and you must have heard this, it's a fake industry.
It is.
Hold on, but when you say fake industry, you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You don't know who's in front of you. So, for instance, when we was at the Mobos and we're walking around, Target was talking to someone. And as Target's having a chat, we're just walking around. And literally he's gone, hello, mate, to get out of whatever the conversation probably was at the time.
I see. Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean?
For fuck's sake, let me. No. But I got you. It's like, no, not me. But I'm saying like the whole, like whatever the conversation was that the person was having. It's like, can you get me out of it? Cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
the next thing.
you see it a lot, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I knew,
Common.
but we're having this chat, but we don't actually know each other.
Right.
So it doesn't make it fake. It's just you just don't know who you're standing in front of or talking to. So your best bet is just to be who you should be. Be polite. Yeah. Be mannered. Be respectful, and because you just don't know when you're going to meet that person again.
Right. Gotcha.
9 years later, Rick's our manager.
There you go.
From giving me a couple of passes, but because of how humble and the way he was and the way he dresses, obviously, I was like, we even said it, you know?
Yeah.
And then now we're in here doing our thing, and 9 years later, because of that, he's with us.
Yeah.
So going back to saying it's a fake industry, most of the time it's not as fake as people think. It's just you don't know who you're talking to, and you could be put into some situations where, unless you can handle that shit, get out. When people become what they call starstruck, or they melt and don't know what to say, it's just, it doesn't work. You've either got it or you haven't. And the fact that we're normal, but we can still do that, we can still mingle and talk with these people, come away and still leave that lovely taste in their mouth,
Right,
based
gotcha.
on the conversations we've had.
Yeah.
I think as well, we don't want anything from them. Like just a chat.
You're just
like,
happy to be
we're
there.
just chatting away to them, just like, like just a normal conversation. We're not sitting there like, oh my God, like I love this. It's not like that.
Yeah, so then when Chunks has walked over and we're having our chat, I just said, I mean, we came here to watch the DB. I said, it's unbelievable. I said, we're actually porn stars though, man.
I was literally going to ask you
the same way.
Was that did you say like what you guys do when you met these guys, and clearly that so what
I mean, you could just
so I mean what did he say when
no, so basically he was like, what? Nah. You imagine, you can imagine the pair of them sitting there. I went, no,
yeah.
Then we obviously got out the TikTok and that, and then it was like, he then realised, and it was just it. But again, look, he has to deal with a lot every time he goes to these places, right?
That's true.
So analysing it from the outside, we're real. It was just it was just a normal conversation. Yeah. And then even moving on to LD, that, honestly, was listening to 6-7 on the way to that DBE concert.
Right, okay.
Like first day out of prison. Yeah.
So then when you met LD, like you would say, oh yeah, shit, I was actually listening to your shit on the way in, and blah, blah, blah. I've been a fan of yours, blah, blah, blah. That sort of thing,
I was doing my little fanboy thing. But, I was genuine, just having a chat. And I said to him, listen, I get it, but I've heard the most recent tracks and I'm not about any of that. But just trust me, like the music, it's ridiculous. So we had a talk. So, what you do? Like, oh yeah, we're porn stars, man. No, 6-7 are standing there, and now he's like, "Wow, look, this is us." Take my WhatsApp. Yeah,
straight to the point. It was like, how can we make this work? Oh yeah, can we hire Jen for a shoot? It's coming up,
but for me, you have to understand, like, obviously, no one can imagine what life he's gone through, but musically and looking at the challenges he's had to go through, where they're trying to stop him, and we all know what's going on. It was mad to see and to know that he was there, and it was humbling for myself to be like, wow, I've even got to meet him. But for him to be like, look, let's drop a message. I was like, fuck, like, I didn't expect that. I'm humbled enough to be here, and I'm happy that I'm here, and wow, this is amazing. But the icings on the cake sometimes are amazing, and that's why it's important that we're just us wherever we go, because you're not going to see anything else.
And then obviously, like you said, the opportunity might not arise the same way again. So put that good taste in their mouth, and clearly LD was like, "Oh yeah, take my number, fam." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, cool."
But the thing is, it's like we promote music, so we do a lot of promotion with music on our TikTok. So that came about because I turned around and said, "Listen, like anything you've got, just let me know, and then we can do a TikTok. We can promote it."
He's seen like the amount of following you have. I was like, okay, all right, cool. Say nothing.
So that's it. But it's a real thing. I'm not going to get or need anything, and he don't need fuck all from us. But if we can help, then let us help.
But it's always a good connection that you guys.
That's it. And naturally. That's exactly it.
And you said organic from the whole thing.
Yeah. But ultimately, being in the music industry and having Rick and all the events that have happened, that's how you separate us from what we do. But you can only separate us from what we do if you know us. Do you understand now? Like,
gotcha.
Get to know us.
Yeah, as people, as opposed to the job title that you guys have. And Lady Leisha, obviously that must have been through Frost. Like, how did that come as well?
Yeah, we just got a phone call, didn't we? Do you want to explain the video? We just got a...
Yeah, like we got a phone call from Rick, and he was like, "Please tell me you are available now."
And we was at home, and we had the kids were here, and it was like, I'm gonna have to get someone to sort the kids out. He was like,
okay, let's make it happen.
So we went down to Kent where they were shooting, just rocked up, and we had to be journalists, so we had these like suits on.
You guys dressed up like you brought to the occasion.
Yeah, but again, I'm not gonna lie, that was just in our wardrobe. It was all we had. Yeah,
like I'm not even joking. We went, so what have we got to wear? We went, smart, and we was like, okay, it's been lockdown, we don't work in an office. We were like, okay, I've got a tracksuit or tracksuit.
Hey, listen, even if you don't have a lot, just make it look good. That's it.
And we literally, that were the only things we had, wasn't it? And we was like, right, let's go, and it just worked.
Firstly and foremost, thanks to Leisha for sorting that. We talked to Leisha. Yeah, she's lovely, and to watch her in her element again for someone there's so much to break down, but it's like you're in that industry, you're doing your thing. I'm standing here, I get it.
And we get it as creative people in general. It's lovely to see someone in their creative element as well.
Right.
But really nice. How would Leisha at that point even know that we're not just two people turning up to be journalists in a video? Like there was so much more to it. But again, how the world works. Like we talked to her, you know,
organically, yeah.
And
and what did you? And what was her reaction when you said you were? Or did you say that you were?
Do you know what?
So a lot of it was like, yo, okay, I see you.
I think just before the take was about to happen, I think she stood up and she was going, right, you guys ready? You guys ready? Hey, Hannistons, you ready?
Yeah. Nice.
Enjoy yourself.
So, no, we had a really good time.
Yeah, it was really good fun. It was really good fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I'd never done anything like that before. I'd never been on a set before for like a music video. So for me, I was like, this is sick.
Oh, this is sick. I'll do this again.
Yeah, it was just, like I'm always been into that sort of thing, and it was just really cool to be a part of and really humbling. I was like, this is amazing. It didn't hit me until I got home, actually. Everything was such a whirlwind,
Yeah,
wasn't
it always
it?
does. When you're in the zone,
Yeah.
you're just in the zone. When you come out of it, you think, fuck, I just done that.
I know. I came home, I was like, was I just...
Yeah. You had to really think to yourself, was I here? Like, surely not.
But it was really good. But that was another thing. It just came organically, and so who knows what else will come up.
So what we're looking at then? So let's break it down. Like obviously, the music kind of came before the adult stuff that you guys are doing, and you've been doing this for just a few years in this. So I mean, where are we at now? Like obviously you're always thinking of now, but I'm not going to say 3-year plan, but like what's sort of the vibe that we're going with as far as you've had your organic views in the music industry, and then obviously now like you're still continuing with your adult work as well. So what are you guys thinking like going forward?
So we've actually just finished filming.
Okay.
For
show on the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's on ITV too.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Can't say too much.
No.
Yeah.
We can say
I
he's
mean,
doing
obviously,
it. Yeah. It's with Olivia Atwood. Olivia Atwood's the presenter.
Okay.
So that's about as far as we can go with it. But it comes out. I think April, May time.
Okay.
Once that comes out, of course, with that comes the beginning of everything that we started in the beginning. So you can start at one point. We're now at like 600,000 on TikTok, I think now nearly.
Yeah.
And do you know how many conversations and how many explanations have had to be made throughout that journey to all of the people that run at you through the floodgates?
Yeah.
Slag, how'd you do it? Kids, disgusting. But once you hit that television screen, we've got to do it all over again, Jay.
Yeah.
So
right. So it's like a new experience now. Cause
exactly.
It's not just like online. Now it's a new form of.
Yeah. But we're fully prepared for that, and we know that there's going to be a lot of hate on a lot of stuff because it's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of unanswered questions, but it's fine. We're here to answer them.
This is it. This is why, honestly, because doing this, this is a way for a lot of people. If you want to know a lot of the answers to the questions, then you should be listening now for the rest, or you should go back and listen to the beginning of this, because do you know what? And there's still so much more. Yeah,
there's so much more that you guys can do. Because I mean, obviously, the music and the adult stuff, like it can only grow from here at this point. Yeah,
I started playing the piano, teaching myself. Literally, I've started. We both sing. We both, we've got a 3-year-old who is, the hybrid of us. So let's not even get started on, because she's already dancing, singing, and doing it all. Yeah. The difference is we'll provide her with the tools, but she's not getting pushed. She's not going to be made or forced or any of that.
Yeah. Whatever she feels is comfortable to her. Yeah. So all your older kids have done. So yeah. So the kids, I'd say the kids are what's next for us. Wow. Because makes sense.
Yeah. People say, when are you going to stop this? Well, we won't, because it's not a chore. Trust me, it's not a job. To answer something way back, actually, I always do this. Come back to moments. When I said to you, how many times do you think we do it a day? And the average person turns around and says, you must be doing it 10 times a day. Do you ever have time for yourself? It's like, honestly, we really don't film the shame that much. Yeah. We might make 2 videos in a week, right? For Pornhub. Yeah. Most of it's done in sort of one take. We might stop in between positions. It's still fucking hot while we're doing it, because she's still jumping up and down on my clock while I'm changing all I'm doing is changing the position, and she might be in a position that she likes, and then in between it I might just fucking throw the camera down and go for it for a bit.
But I think there, and a big part of why we do what we do is because it gives us a lot of time and freedom to be with our family. But so it's the life that comes with it. We're always available for our children. Right. And family for us is really, really, really important. Right. Within our little family unit here, because that's all we got. So it's really important for us to maintain that.
So yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna. I don't think we'd ever think of not doing it. But if it naturally happens, we will.
Yeah.
And then,
Who knows?
and then, well, ultimately as well, financially, you want to be, you want to be able to
You wanna
basically
have,
stop.
like relative freedom.
Yeah, we'd love to, but we're just a normal couple.
Right.
So just like any other normal couple,
Yeah.
we have to pay all our bills like everyone else.
Yep.
We've got a job. We have 3 kids that do a lot outside of a household, and that takes time.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
It takes time, it takes money, it takes a lot of effort. And if we can't put the same effort into them that we wish we had when we were younger, then what are we doing it for?
True.
Because we could spend 80% of our time at every single event I could possibly sort, doing every single video, making sure that we're scheduled for this, trying to do this. And we've been offered loads of TV shows, and they just weren't right. We were just like, no, we're going to wait, and then something comes along. But trust me, there are people out there that would snap any single deal they can get and throw their hands on.
Yeah.
Because
so you're more selective in that way.
Yeah, well, we've got it. We get it.
Yeah.
We can see between the lines to most things and just look at it for exactly what it is.
What it is, yeah.
As well, along with everything in our life, we wouldn't do anything that didn't marry up with how we are as people. So, some of the stuff that we got offered, it wouldn't have been genuine to us. So we're not going to do it. Like we wouldn't just do it just to be on telly, if that makes sense, or whatever. We just wouldn't. We wouldn't do it like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
So moving forward, I would just say it's more the children and trying to make the most out of life based on with my mum and stuff. That I'm human. That stuff fucking messes me up on the regular. But what am I gonna do? Crumble? Just like when she had her phone call. I can't crumble. You got to be strong and
keep it moving.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard. Trust me, Jay, it's hard.
Easier said than done. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. People look at what we have and what we are doing, and as I told you, we're renting. We've been here 6 years, and we are renting.
Yeah.
So to rent and have your kids and have a car and have everything, we're humble enough to understand that we earn more money than what most people do. But trust me, we only get what we need in order to sustain this life. We don't have hundreds of thousands in the bank. We're not.
We're not flossing.
No.
See, even the saying flossing, that's an old school word. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I know that you come from, like,
that's even when I had on FUBU jeans.
Yeah. That's how I know. But I mean, guys, there's so much that we covered. I want to firstly thank you so much for inviting me to your humble abode. First of all, such a lovely place that you have here. So and thank you for inviting me down. I really do appreciate it. But I'm also grateful for the fact that you've really broken down a lot, and especially like understanding, your industry, and only being new for a couple of years, but so much going into it as well. With family involved and how you separate everything and responsibility and stuff like that. So I just want to thank you for breaking all that down for me.
That's good, man. No, thank you. Thank you.
For coming.
We've been looking forward to it for a year, mate.
Yeah. No, I was like, as soon as I said I'm going to interview you, it's like, I'm preparing. Make sure I've got my good glasses on and all that. One final thing I had in my head was I was talking to my friends yesterday, and they were saying there was like a AVN Expo that's happening in August. Because I was thinking maybe for, promoting further of what you guys are doing is that, there's like exposés and not exposés, like, sort of like places that you can promote yourself, like have banners or whatever. Would that be something that you maybe think of as well?
It's funny because you bring up AVN because the AVN Awards, I think it might be the AVN Awards or AVN themselves. They followed us on our Instagram.
Oh, right. Nice.
So me being me.
You never know.
Me being me.
We'd love
you never know.
to go. Regardless of what we got out of it or did or whatever, we wouldn't know yet. But we would love to.
I think
love to go to these things.
I messaged them. I always do it. I just get straight on the phone and get things done.
So
Yeah.
And I went straight in and said, look, what are the possibilities that we could possibly pop down to the AVNs, because we're going to be on there one day anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And you might look at that
in
and
your
go,
trajectory, you will be.
Remember what I said? Like, I say it all the time. Confidence is probably the biggest thing in engagement, but don't be arrogant with it, because
What's the worst they're going to say? No.
All right, keep it moving. You still got your business.
You're
still carrying on with it. That's not stopping.
So they might.
So you're good.
Yeah, and they might look at it and be like, fucking arrogant, but it's not, like, because you don't understand anything about us. So give me a chance, but it doesn't but it's cool. But like I said, we would love to do things like that. It's just, I think it is quite political.
Yeah.
But we're always here. We're here. The door's open. Any of that kind of stuff we will do. And Yeah, I mean, even when it comes down to things like brand deals and advertising, right?
Right.
We are not stupid.
Right.
You know, it's very difficult.
Right.
Very difficult based on the industry that we're in to even get a look in.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but all I say is this: numbers don't lie.
Yeah,
And,
they certainly don't.
That's it.
They certainly don't. And there was one final thing that came to mind as well is that I was thinking like, what's the weirdest like? Two final questions actually. What's the weirdest request that people have asked for you guys to do? Because I know there's probably a boundary for shit that you won't do.
So the weirdest one we ever had was someone wanted me to take a dump on his chest, like literally in a video, and just.
I heard you say take a shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know it'd be on his.
Oh yeah,
chest,
they wanted it
right?
on him, like on there, like you know.
Nah,
so that was out of the question. Like you ain't doing that. No, I don't even let him in the bathroom when I'm doing that, let alone film that. I just wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Fuck no.
But yeah, so I think that's definitely the weirdest.
I mean,
the weirdest. But
what about you?
No, do you know what it is? Because when you say like everyone's got their preferences.
Yeah,
So
like fetishes and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
I think for me, I think what I got asked to put on like a leather jacket and be there all butt naked and start saying what I'm going to do, and I thought that's not me. Like I can't. When I'm on my own, right, and then I don't care. Listen, and I get it. You have to you have to accommodate to everyone, but I don't care when I'm on my own and I'm not doing this as intended,
right?
Because someone wants to see me doing something, I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't go like, oh, I just can't. So yeah, I've been asked before.
it's not authentic.
No, and I've been asked to basically like put on a bit of a show and all. Oh, I can't.
Yeah,
that's not, you know,
because I do see some of the dances you do on your TikTok, and I just I can already like tell it's just like. Yeah, maybe that request should be out the window. You know what I mean? But and final thing as well with the TikTok as well. You know, 600K. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
My favorite one I saw recently was the one where you come out the room and saying, "You got a friend." That was jokes. So I think like she's not done. You better go back in there until and then when you're the end, is it friend in me? Yeah. How do you come creatively? I mean, a lot of things that are trending right now, like you know, you obviously like you'll take the audio and then spin it to how you want. So how do you creatively like look into that?
So you kind of like answered it as well. We do take stuff that's trending and then see how we can bend it to make it our own.
Yeah.
But what we really do, I think what we really do though is just by scrolling on the FYP, there'll be that sound. There'll be that one thing that hits you, and it could be the most.
You hear it in a certain way.
Yeah. And it only you get it if you're creative and you can do that kind of thing. You'll just hear it. It doesn't go in out and out the other. It goes in and you go, listen. I've got an idea.
Yeah.
All right, and I say, just hear me out. I show the sound. No. Just trust me. Vision. It's called a vision. Just trust me. That's what I always do.
Yeah.
And then when we get to the end of it and we publish it, it's like bang. And honestly, again, even with the TikTok and the porn and all of it, we probably literally film and do stuff no more than an hour and a half collectively.
Wow.
Collectively. That's not just in one hit. A day. That's a day.
If you were to put it.
If you really wanted to.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, again, going right back to that.
Yeah.
So that's how much time we really have to spend on it.
Right. And you're vested in it.
Yeah,
as well.
but it's the engagement and everything else after you've posted that takes a lot of the time.
Right.
And then the kids, and then everything else we have to do, and then dinner and schools. So we managed to do all of that, and that's how it is easy to separate.
Yeah.
Father, husband, mother, daughter. Do you understand? Like,
we
we really do. We've got it all separated and everything's aligned and we're making it happen. But it's so hard when people on the outside look. But after this, I think a lot of people will be able to see that, you know, exactly what we've been wanting to fucking say.
Well, I mean, after hearing all that, like, I was like, that's got me exhausted in a good way. Because it's like so much like you have to cater to, like, you know, like I said, being a father, being a mother, doing this work, involved with music, other things. I'm just like, for me, I'm a single guy and I'm fucking exhausted. You know, no one's there, so it's crazy. But I mean, again, thank you so much. We're, you know, so much more we could talk about, but we'll end it there. I know you guys got more famous shit to do, so I ain't gonna hold you up much longer. I mean, if you,
we'll be here again.
Oh, we'll definitely be here again. I mean, if you want to tell our audience, if you look into that camera on the right, what you guys got coming up and where they should follow you and everything else, the floor is yours.
So guys, we if you want to follow us on our well, actually, I know how to do it. There is only one Hannistons on the the whole entire internet.
Yeah.
The Hannistons. So if you're on Google, you can type in the Hannistons. If you're on TikTok, the Hannistons. OnlyFans. That's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there'll be a TV show April, May on ITV2 with Olivia Atwood, and there'll be more interviews with Jay, of course. And the rest of
There's
the media
so much
spotlight.
more that I wanted to get into, but obviously we're gonna break it down for the next time. So, but yeah, thank you so much for taking the time, man. Like, you know, it's a beautiful home you got, and you guys are just really cool people, man. I fuck with you guys.
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you for
Aight.
coming.
Yeah, no, pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine.